indeed. Mark, on what effectively is that European front line there in Lampedusa, thanks very much indeed for updating us.
Well, Suella Braverman is taking to the world stage today on the challenge of global migration. She's set to make a major speech in Washington, D.C., as we've been saying, taking aim at the United Nations Refugee Convention.
Well, the Home Secretary expected to declare that being gay or a woman is not enough reason to claim asylum. But the Refugee Council and indeed the Labour Party argue the UK should instead be concentrating on addressing the record asylum backlog. The number of migrants, of course, arriving via small boats edging ever closer to 24,000 into Britain this year.
Well, we can now speak with public speaker and activist Bisi Alimi. Very good to see you this afternoon. So tell us a little bit about yourself, Bisi, because from my understanding, you are a gay man from Nigeria who is now living here, having sought asylum.
Yes, indeed. First of all, I want to say good afternoon and thank you for having me on your show. And I also want to send my condolences to the young lady that died trying to cross the Mediterranean. And I hope that she and her family will find solace in this tragedy that has happened. And, you know, it goes with the saying that if at any point in our lives, anybody finds the water, the sea, to be safer than the ground, then that says a lot about our humanity. I came to the UK in 2007. I didn't come here to claim asylum. I was running away from my country, from the danger that I was experiencing, mainly because of the fact that I dared to love differently. And I had to come to the UK. It was through the help of different organizations in the UK that encouraged me and gave me the necessary information that I found to be able to go forward and claim asylum. And that was in 2008. Now I am a British citizen. I'm contributing to the British economy. I've been involved in a lot of British activities, both in the UK and on the continent of Africa. And for me, I think this is the beauty of what it means to be a refugee.
But that decision was made so that you would feel safe, that you had to leave Nigeria because after you declared yourself effectively publicly as being gay, you felt that your safety was in question.
Yes, indeed. You're very, very correct. When I came out on national television in Nigeria, immediately, it wasn't that I felt my safety was actually compromised. I was beaten up. I was locked up. My house was broken into, and I had no other choice than to run away from Nigeria. And luckily for me, a month before then, I'd already come to the UK to give a talk at a conference in the UK. So I had a visa on my passport.
Yeah.
And I had that opportunity to run. Many people do not have that, and that has led to the death of many LGBT people across the world.
So we're awaiting this speech from Suella Braverman. What, therefore, do you make of what she's expected to say, and that is that offering asylum to a person who is gay or a woman fearing discrimination in their home country is not sustainable?
I think we need to be very, very aware of what is happening in the UK and how currently the government that we have has been playing to dog whistle politics instead of actually addressing the issue. We have over 100,000 backlog of people who are claiming asylum. Amongst these people are lawyers, they are doctors, they are nurses, they are care workers, people that will contribute to our challenged NHS at the moment are on the waiting list, are not allowed to work, are not allowed to contribute to the development of the United Kingdom. And for me, I feel that that should be what we should be talking about. Now, but to speak to the issue of presumption, that because somebody is presumed to be lesbian, gay, bisexual, or trans, that is not enough ground for them to claim asylum. I wish that that is the basis that we are talking about this issue, because if my case has been based on presumption under current Home Secretary, I would have been deported back to Nigeria and I would have been killed. And the point is this: we expect people to show, one, that their life is in danger. But we're using Western civilization barometer of what danger means. Because in the UK, you know, what danger means is that, you know, the police is after you or the court of law is after you. But in many countries, especially on the continent of Africa, this goes beyond the state. We're talking about the society. We're talking about families. We're talking about honor killing. We're talking about corrective rapes. And these are things that when we talk about it within the context of the UK, they kind of are obscured because we can't frame them in a very concrete way.
Yeah.
And so for us to be able to present this to caseworkers that are dealing with asylum seems very, very, very obscured. And in that case, you can deny somebody refugee status. And before I close, I think this has been done and dusted in the court of law in the UK in 2010 in the case of H and I think an A, where the High Court in the UK had said specifically that somebody who is on the presumption of the basis of their sexual orientation have a right to claim asylum. I don't know why the Home Office is trying to rewrite the rules.
OK, Bisi Alimi, really good to see you this afternoon. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your experience there ahead of Suella Braverman, the Home Secretary, speaking a little bit later on in Washington. We are expecting her to say that simply being gay or being a woman is not enough on its own to quantify for asylum in this country. So that's the reaction there from Bisi Alimi.